This is Garrett Fry, the Cityscape Sequence Lead for 3D Digital Map Painting, and we're taking a look at shot B103. So if you take a look, we're starting out low and we're going up high, and this shot is the sun has just set, so we still have that nice light in the sky, but all of the window lights are on in these skyscrapers, which is a really cool look. So you're, of course, looking at this in the context of all of the other shots that are in or that are for the same location. So it's B101, B102. So those four shots are all of the same location. And so now that you maybe have identified some buildings, you want to go back and start making masks for some of these light shapes for windows and things. And so when you are doing the pattern of these windows, you want to make sure that it's a bit random. And sometimes it's actually easier just to go to the night photography section of the image reference library and just cut out a section of lights for windows and stick it right on your building instead of going through and making masks for each individual lights. There's a kind of a random quality to these, how these lights are being lit on these buildings. And so it's kind of hard to simulate that when you go through and you're making your own masks for things. So sometimes it's easier, like I said, go into the image reference library, pick out images of night buildings, and then just stick them on top of your existing buildings that you're adding to give you that nice window detail. You also need to, like, under these like darker lighting conditions, it's a bit more ambiently lit. Although there's some slight variation, like you see this side and this side, there's a slight variation in the value of this and this. You don't want to be too big. This one here happens to be quite a bit bigger, and it's because this particular building has a lot of reflective surfaces on it. It's mostly glass. And so under these ambient lighting conditions, this side of the building is reflecting the skylight a lot more than these other buildings that are made of different materials. So that's a lot to consider when you're doing these shots. And of course, you need to, everything above this line, you should replace with some buildings to change the city skyline about 50% or up to 50%. And you can eliminate buildings or put buildings in front or put buildings behind the existing buildings that are there right now in the plate. Make sure that before you jump into these shots, you download the image library. The image library consists of nearly 500 raw images. That's 2.27 gigs of buildings from 5 different cities from around the world: Sydney, Wellington, Adelaide, San Francisco, and New Orleans. So there's a huge variety of buildings to choose from. The photo reference includes buildings under all different lighting conditions and angles, so it pays off to familiarize yourself with the materials you're going to use to successfully execute these shots.